Yeah.
And he can't afford to warp in units over there because there's too many roaches, and if he does, then he has less units at his natural, where the big group of roaches is actually attacking. Habitation Station, pretty cool map pick here. I like it.
You can see Paralyze actually had a decent game on this. He didn't quite execute his strategies well enough, but the idea was there.
Yeah.
Definitely had an excess of minerals at the end of that last game, where he could have maybe used that for a Nexus or more Zealots to warp in. Now, initially, a lot of the Zergs were doing the money grab, going for the gold base. And they've stopped doing that. Instead, they're doing a much more passive play and just trying to control the game. As it looks like Protoss are able to get the gold base up and attack, but then they're, occasionally the Zergs are able to shut down their attacks. Let's see if that's what RorO does here now. I'm Tasteless, with me is Wolf. And this is the final day of the round of 32 here in the GSL Code S.
RorO versus Paralyze.
So, gold base here makes this map very unique. I've had a lot of different maps rotating in and out with gold bases in the past in GSL. And then all the way back to Metalopolis.
I think this is what makes this StarCraft II so great right now, is that there is a shift in maps. Yeah. You do have a proper map rotation, which does make for interesting games and strats.
I really like that the maps are the same on the ladder as they are in the premier tournaments around the world, because it also just gives you the feeling of, if you're actually just playing ladder against your opponents, you're playing on the same maps that pro players are playing on. You're not playing like a different map pool.
Yeah.
And it's very consistent. I really like that.
Forge expand, it looks like, unless he's got a cannon rush.
He's just going to cannon, or he's going to attempt to.
Yeah. Okay.
And you know what? Curious scouted,
now,
and RorO is not.
We talked about how this might be like the new thing to do in the meta, since so many people are faking it right now, just putting that pylon out there. That, let's see, okay, now let's watch. Is RorO not going to react? He didn't react last time. Pylon starting. The Overlord's going to come back, but the Overlord here for our Zerg has not spotted the Forge just yet. So he's sitting just one drone down right now. Now he sees the Forge.
The probe's already in such a good spot. I think he's going to be able to get the cannons up no matter what. Yeah, actually sends a drone to the third base. He's just going to cancel and take the gold.
You know what's funny? I actually think that would be really smart.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's just going to cancel and take the gold instead. And we'll see.
So we see the second cannon rush come here from Paralyze. I'm like, okay, guys, this is not a Code S match anymore.
Yeah, he's checking this third base, but he's not actually...
I think the best response here would be to take the gold base.
Yeah.
So does he just cancel?
Yeah, he's just going to cancel the last second, make sure the cannon doesn't cancel.
Unless he thinks he can let it finish, which I suppose he could.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean...
All right, he's not going to cancel it, I don't think, man.
Yeah, I guess not.
No, he did. He canceled it very, very last second. Okay.
Interesting. Well, I mean...
No, the problem now... Okay, nice denial there by Paralyze. The problem now is normally the Zerg can't get that gold base as easily because the Protoss just expands the gold along with him. In this case, I think Paralyze made a bad judgment call here because now Zerg gets the gold base while Protoss tries to defend his mineral only.
Another problem is, on the other hand, for RorO, is that his base is still extremely late. So the gold is going to make up for that, but it's going to take a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, he didn't cancel early and then get the third base because he knew he might get cannoned. So his base is just extremely late in general, but Paralyze's base is not the fastest Nexus in the world either because of his opening. This game is going to play out a little bit differently than your most typical Protoss versus Zerg.
Yeah, this is already weird. There's a big cavity in where the heart of the Zerg's base would be the second now. The drone transfer coming down here. Protoss checks to confirm that, and he now does no.
Yeah, and he's going to send a majority of drones over here because this is going to be where his better income is. The Maynard going down.
Oh, an old school reference there, Wolf.
Yeah.
Maynard exchange. Now, I mean, let's see what exactly Paralyze can do. With the Zerg's bases being disjointed, There are different ways you can try to punish that. There's 3 different locations. Zerg actually needs to make sure he gets rid of that pylon and the cannon there in his expansion, because otherwise Warp Gate can finish, and you can warp in at that pylon and go into the main. Or you could go to one of the other bases main, probably the most immediate pick there, since you can get rid of the most likely locations the spawning pool and the Roach Warren are going to be.
Yeah. Normally I don't really like the Oracle follow-up to this type of build, because it's not really certain to do damage, and if it gets denied really hard, then you can have, you know, you're like, well, I just invested a lot into that. That didn't really accomplish anything for me. Maybe I should have done something else, like an Immortal push. But on this map, the rush distance, or the flying distance between the Oracle and the main and that third base at the gold is pretty short, so you might be able to do something with this if he commits to that Oracle. I'd rather see Phoenixes most of the time, but I like this okay on this map. I mean, he's, you know, there's already a queen there, but if he doesn't have spines, the queen will just be ignored, or spores, excuse me.
Yeah, he'll just
target
the drones anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, Warp Gate about 75% complete here, and he's getting Void Rays behind this. Now that's an interesting move, because he could surprise the gold base there with the Void Rays.
Yeah, you know, if he damages the queen a lot, then the Void Ray comes over and kills the only queen there. And then he can just micro against the spore.
Creep's not connected here too, right? So, so Ihan timing.
That's a term I haven't heard in a while. That's an old school.
That's old school, man. Tasteless is old school. About as old school as you can get, Wolf.
I love that Blizzard put that reference into the Wings of Liberty. It's the Ihan crystal.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Nicely done here. He does get that cannon started, and it can't really be touched from there. So third base for Paralyze is going to be safe, but remember, it is RorO with the gold base that's been up and running for some time. He is making roaches, and, you know, I'd say, look, he has got 55 workers. He might make, you know, like 7 more, 10 more, something like that. But he can really produce here. In fact, he might not even have to make that many, since he has those extra workers at the gold base.
Yeah. Hydra Den will be pretty helpful here. Wow, triple Stargate.
Okay. Don't know if this works or not.
Yeah, I guess we're going to find out, Tasteless. He's targeting down the roaches here, which is an interesting choice, considering he could have been a little bit more efficient, I feel, attacking the Zerglings.
Or the drones even
Or
above
the drones
it.
over there, yeah. So he's just going to go into a ton of Void Rays, I guess, and maybe even just try to kill the hatcheries.
Like a bit of a cheese build here.
Yeah.
I don't know how strong it's going to be, since the Zerg is already making Hydras anyways.
I think what he might try to do is just fly the Void Rays over to the gold base and try to, like, kill that hatchery, or just kill a ton of the drones with it.
I'm not...
and then maybe just fly away and...
I mean, I guess if Zerg doesn't scout this, I mean, 3 Stargate is not the most kosher build.
No, it's certainly not, man. You know, it's funny, actually, too, is with all these Hydras, he's going to want to attack. It looks like he's stopped droning. I mean, he's at worse drone count than the Protoss.
This is such a weird build that it might just catch him off guard, you know?
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, the Voiders are going to be great defensively if that's how he chooses to use them, but I think he's got something else in mind. He's also denying scouting pretty well here right now, with looks like one Void Ray to the north, stopping any Overlords from coming in. Okay, now he sees that Void Ray, and he's probably like, okay, this is a bit strange. That's a nice little scout here.
Yeah, tagging the buildings. Good follow production from there. I believe the Zerg just battering rams the third base.
Yeah, and the Void Rays
wins, right?
Well, I don't
know, man.
I don't think he wins here, but he could trade well, right? There are a lot of Void Rays, though, and you got to respect those.
Yeah, now the Overseer's coming in here. He already sees one, and he's actually going to attack the front of the second here. Probably.
Oh
my God, those were so good.
He's to pull the Void Rays back, though.
Yeah, he did not do that. But those force fields were very, very good.
Oh, just needs to save the Mothership Core. Almost enough energy for another cannon there, but it's not enough. He will hold this, though, and this puts the Zerg in an awkward position.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the unit counting station. He's got 6 Void Rays and 1 Oracle, but nothing else on the ground. Does he even have Forge upgrades? He's like making carriers?
Carriers? What?
Wow. I mean, I saw the fleet and I was like, +2.
This is Twitch's Frankers, right?
Yeah.
Carriers? Is it Frankers or Franker Z?
I think it's Franker Z.
Franker Z?
I'm not sure, though. I'm not a Twitch scientist.
Void Rays are going to come down now. And you know what's funny about this? With the air control here, he can actually, it's funny he's going to go for the gas there. He can actually protect the gold. I mean, I guess that works. I like the sniping of the gas and then running away. Assuming he keeps running away, it doesn't just get cornered by those Void Rays, which I think is in fact what's going to happen.
He makes only one carrier taseless and now switches into 3 Tempests. It may have been a mistake, but kind of weird.
God. Covert Ops Zerg army there.
Yeah, he's actually going to sneak in over here.
He canceled that carrier? Did you say that?
No, he made it, but like, as far as I can tell, he finished it. Now he's got 3 Tempests on the way. Yeah, this army is just not going to have a chance. Void Rays, man, if you max them, like, the only answer to like a maxed out Voider army is oftentimes Mutilus. So they're...
Well, he's got a Spire making. Not a lot of gas banked up, though.
Corruptors are definitely not going to be the answer to this. Investors are extremely helpful as well. This is a weird game. He's going to get that gold base up. Zerg's not able to deny. Just trades that army away because he wants to have more, better army supply. Or actually, in this case, more drones.
Oh my God, money fungals there.
He has to recall. That was... He's so lucky he had that mothership core nearby.
Yeah,
he did
well,
it, man.
I wouldn't even say lucky, I'd just say smart. If he didn't have that mothership core there, he would have been in a lot of trouble. The Tempest being used to defend now. This is becoming a pretty out there PvZ, man.
Yeah, this is not normal. Switches back into more Void Ray production. Looks like he only lost 1 Void Ray in that last engagement. The Zealots have no attack upgrades, so they're not doing very well against his hatchery. I mean, I think he might get it with the next Warp End. Yeah, I guess he will. He's going to also have this Oracle over here to help out. So this base is toast. Burnt toast, even. The worst kind.
The worst kind, the very worst kind. Iron Kid's bread burnt toast. Very worst kind.
You know, I actually don't like raisins, but I like raisin toast. Is that something that's strange?
Not totally, actually. Raisin toast is quite good. So, you know, what's cool about this is we're seeing the Sky Protoss on a gold map where he can cover this pretty easily. Now, he's going to get the... Okay, now he's going to get the Mothership core.
The Mothership is going to be used to defend this base to keep it cloaked. If the base is cloaked, he can't actually use these Oracles, right?
Oh, yeah, good call.
Or, not the Oracles, the Locust. So he's just going to sit that Mothership on top of the base so the Locusts have to attack somewhere else.
What a treat of a PvZ we're seeing here. This is so cool. Now, you got to wonder with these Tempests here, he could possibly gun down these Swarm Hosts. I guess the Investors could get a fungal off, but...
He needs to have vision, which might be what he ends up using Oracles for, to kind of just pop down that reveal and then keep picking away. This is interesting. This is a really funky game. I like how he's using the Tempest, but that gold base becomes less and less relevant as time goes on because it's almost mined out. And then his Tempests are not really going to be able to use that.
You mean, yeah, the Zerg's gold base, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, he's got Corruptors out here.
Where is the Mothership?
Well, it should be left, right? It should be in the left center of the map, or center of the Protoss' base, I thought.
I think so.
He's moving the spores up here.
There
it is.
So he can actually just send this over on top of his Nexus, which is normally what we see Protoss players do.
Yeah, I don't know why he's not doing that, actually. It's a bit alarming.
Yeah, I mean, like, what's the point of the Mothership? He's not going to do that. He doesn't need these cloaks. He doesn't need the Tempest.
It doesn't hurt if they're cloaked, though, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, he could have the best of both worlds. At a certain point in time, though, the Locusts just don't do any damage because they get killed too quickly.
Yeah, or you have to have, like, way more Swarm Hosts. Now, the Zealots are being incredibly effective at just taking out these hatches.
I mean, I guess
it's just a really weird game.
He's just going to be pure Sky Toss. He's still not getting any upgrades at his forge for his Zealots. He's only upgrading the shields even now for his air units. Probably going to start armor as soon as that +3 is done. And I guess he has no plans of ever switching into Colossus tech or even...
you know, I don't think so, at least for the time being. You know, the thing is, Zerg is maxed out, doing a nice job, but I don't really know if he's going to be able to deal with an army like this. And he's going to go on a full-on assault over here in this area, which I don't know if I agree with because there's nothing of use here. The gold base is mined out.
Yeah, it's almost like he just wants to stop the creep from getting up onto his base. The Mothership is not close enough to cover those pylons, unfortunately. I mean, his Zealots,
This has been the best thing that's been going on for the Protoss, actually, is the harass over here on these bases.
Yeah, these zero
Oh
attack
my
upgrade.
god, he got the Mothership Core.
Oh,
that's
nice.
going to make the Swarm Host harass very, very nice. I believe he harpooned that.
Yeah, that's definitely what happened. Our Observer tried to highlight that. The energy is missing there. And that means that the Locust can actually kill the ground units now.
I wonder what I believe that the third base, bottom base for Protoss is almost mined out.
Yeah, and he's gonna. I mean, I would say he's probably about 2/3 mined out.
Now the problem is that Zerg can keep taking up bases down here. He doesn't have to mine from all of them even, because this when you get an army like this that the Protoss has, it doesn't have a lot of mobility.
Yeah.
It has to just try to defend this gold base, which is really not being mined from. He says a few probes coming up here, but they can be killed off pretty easily when the Locust Skid here is being exhibited right now. Actually,
Yeah, this base is basically useless. I mean, I wouldn't say useless, but it's not going to be a big mining base for him for a while. He's actually making the mistake of engaging Corruptors into Void Rays. That's never going to be what you want.
Well, the combination of the Corruptors and the Tempest.
I mean, I guess what Paralyze is thinking here is that eventually his army is going to be too big to deal with. Like, it's going to be too perfect. Like, it's going to be almost pure Tempest.
Nice, just snagging the Void Rays whenever he can. You know, again, the problem, though, really is just that there's no way for him to get this army across the map and kill everything else off.
Yeah, or to secure this base to the bottom left that he's now losing. I mean, these Zealots that he's warping in over here are doing a lot for him, but really,
I don't know, though.
isn't losing anything, you know? Like, he's just trading free units here. So it's not like having those bases has really hurt him because he still has a bank.
He needs to save these bases, though.
Yeah, I mean, he will eventually need them.
Well, I mean, he's actually almost mined out completely, so he actually has to save these bases.
Now he's pushed up far enough to where he can stop these Locusts. How many Tempests does he have now? He's
Protoss
got
actually
like
has a better...
16?
Yeah, a very good amount. Protoss, again, I think if Protoss wins this, it's going to be due to the Zealot harass over there.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, he just has so much DPS that even if 2 Tempests get grabbed here, he's almost able to save them. And he's killing so much. He's now going to be able to start working away on these
Queens,
Swarmos. There's actually no Observer. He didn't even have to do that, but he probably thought one was coming.
Know.
Yeah.
There's no way he could have known that. Move, Queens.
Now we can start mining from this base again, which has a lot of minerals left.
I think Protoss is almost, I mean, Zerg's almost mined out. I think RorO actually loses this game.
Yeah, he doesn't have any bank anymore.
And a pretty sick ending, by the way. Sky Toss.
Max out on Tempest, there's no answer for that. It's like when you were maxed out in carriers in StarCraft 1, I guess. It's just like, well, it's very difficult to handle this when I have no money, no bank.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
There's a mothership now cloaking half of them.
Making my eyes hurt watching these blurry invisible units move across the map. I think Zerg just taps out. Am I wrong?
No, I
Zerg's
think
got
you're correct.
49 drones. But it looks like this base should be able to get operational here. You know, if Zerg had actually just kept the bases at the bottom right alive by just being better at babysitting his roaches. Okay, now he's going to try to shave off little bits of army here. Mind you, they're both essentially maxed out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what can Curious do to actually kill these Tempests? What unit is the answer?
Well,
Hydras? Like max Hydras? Maybe, but he doesn't have the money to make that switch right now. I don't even think that would work.
He doesn't have enough of anything to really...
I mean, like, if you get this many Tempests, is there an answer? Like, I don't think so. Like, how do you kill those?
Normally when people say, how do you beat something like this? The answer is you don't let them get there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, now that he's here, like, I don't see any answer for RorO. Like, how...
I mean, we basically have, like, this indestructible death army in the sky, but Zerg did have probably some more opportunities to try to do something else effective over here, and just didn't happen. What was going around there? Okay, the Roach is now going to try to counter over here. This is a nice move here. Wants to get that probe for sure.
Yeah,
there we go.
Probe. That's pretty important. Storm is on the way. Looks like the Infestors may just try to go and drop Infested Terrans on the space. Yeah, that's pretty smart.
Oh, I like this actually a lot.
That's
this is
something that
actually
Tempest can't deal with.
Yeah. And he can just get the Nexus here. Okay, that was a really smart move there.
Yeah, because the Tempest just, they overkill, you know, they fired too much on the same target, and there's so many small targets there. I think he's going to save the Nexus, but this looks crazy.
Okay, well, what RorO's trying to do from here is just eliminate bit by bit each of these armies by each of these Tempests here, which are very expensive, mind you.
Yeah.
Did he get the Nexus? No, he did not get the Nexus up there.
He killed a lot of probes, but with how low like the economy is right now, it doesn't matter that much. I think he
Nice bungle there.
Oh, here
nice
we go.
Bungle.
This could change things. He actually gets so many of those void rays since they couldn't kite back. And he's going to get a few
Beautiful.
more.
And
Nicely done.
Wow, and I mean that was with almost no losses there. Really telling Paralyze that he needs, really telling Paralyze, excuse me, he needs to respect his army here.
Yeah. Just using those oracles for detection now. Wow, this game has been pretty unique, man. I mean, this is the type of playstyle that RorO normally shows, but he's having to do it now against a completely different type of composition. Zealots are going to come over here, but looks like this time he's prepared. I think he's got some static defense set up over there. Wow, when it gets really quiet now, I know.
I love the sound. Yeah, I was going to say I love the Viper sound effect, man.
It's really good.
Okay, so he's getting some roaches here to try to hold off the Zealots, which is really, I think Zerg would have won this had he been doing that a while ago.
Yes.
Okay, so he's going to try to move forward a little bit with the death ball here. 168. Now, notice the gold base is vulnerable.
Yeah, he's got a few units going over there.
Oh, he's got the mothership core over there.
So
Soon to be a mothership.
I think that's infestors they sent over there.
Yeah,
to,
I think that's correct.
Do a little sneak attack.
Okay, now he's got to be careful. Oh, nice! We're just grabbing these oracles. Beautiful.
Yep, they do get their job done first, but now their player just pushes back.
Also, Protoss does have the bottom left base. This is it's actually such a fantastic game. Okay, so he's got more Tempest he's cranking out here. He's got Templars to accompany him over here. The gold base is going to get mined out pretty quick here. Ideally, Zerg would want to shut that down. But then again, Zerg has lost a lot trying to shut that down for most of this game. Tagged is the air army here for RorO.
He's going to want to take RorO, that is the base that's the bottom left of the one that he's using right now.
Oh, wait, we got a roach counter, bottom left.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot to defend over there.
I think it's, what, like 4 cannons or something? So, Zerg regrouping back over here. The tag is worn off.
Yeah, he's going to have a few stalkers warped in. They don't have any upgrades, really, but I guess neither really do the roaches.
Yeah, well, the ground army has mostly been an afterthought in this game. Ouch!
That was a huge loss. Wow, whoa! Cannot allow this to happen.
Well, before he was grabbing Void Rays and the Oracles, which can just fly out in front because they're faster. Not anymore, though.
Yeah, he's got to be careful about the little pit over there. And the Tempest army they got like a concave there, so all of his units are really able to fire.
He's got to be careful. This is a cloaked death ball. Still doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, he's killed a lot of probes.
Yeah.
This Tempest is floating the wrong way.
Nice. But again, err on the side of caution here.
He's trying to get his goodbye mothership.
And then he just darts out.
He's trying to work his way over towards this base so he can stop the Zerg's mining yet again.
Problem is that if the Zerg decides to do an engagement that would win, or I guess I should say decides, if he can do an engagement that would win, this army won't be able to get back. Well,
yeah,
maybe it will now that it's actually backing up. But had it gone any further down to the bottom right, not worth it perhaps.
Starting to make Void Rays again.
Let's keep an eye out for the worker count here when that comes up in the unit counting tab.
You can actually see it at the top right.
Oh, excuse me, what am I saying? So we have 41 probes here to 66 drones. And it looks like, at this point in time, with that many probes here, he's still got a substantial ability to mine here from the bottom up. The gold base is almost mined out.
Yeah. He doesn't need much more probes than this. If he's only really mining from like a base and a half right now. He keeps adding the mothership into his composition to make it very difficult for the Zerg to engage. It's very expensive for him to do, but it's paid off pretty well. He just needs to make sure he controls it well. It's one of the slowest units in the game, one of the slowest air units. The Zerg is securing the base to the bottom left now, or bottom right, like the natural bottom right base, whatever you want to call that.
The one closest to the middle at the bottom right.
Not like the 5 o'clock expansion. Another Zling run by should be denied with a Zealot Warp, and he probably wants to pull those probes away. He's even going to go for gas.
Just getting the gases there.
Yeah.
Protoss needs the gas right now to replenish this ridiculous army here.
More Swarm Hosts being added. Meanwhile, for RorO, he's... I don't know, how do you feel about that? I'm not quite sure.
Swarm Hosts?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, one thing to note is that the Protoss's army can't really spread out, right? This big air army.
Yeah.
But the Zerg's, swarm host and then the rest of his air army can split into two.
Yeah, so
I
maybe
suppose if like for instance right here, if it's approaching him, he can send the swarm hosts around and try to, chew through an expansion.
Exactly.
But I just don't know. This is actually a very unique game here.
There are 23 Tempests.
Right, I'm sure our views are going way up right now with a game like this. I'm sure this is getting linked to a lot of people.
This is pretty nuts. Well, he's eliminated a lot of the creep down here to the south. And if he can get one storm on those corruptors, that would be a game changer.
Yeah. Again, with the Zerg having to expand, starting from the top down over here to the left, this is an area where those Tempests can start to actually engage expansions again. It's not like that very bottom right expansion.
It's games like this. Oh wow.
Nicely done. The other thing is that the Swarm Host actually can just absorb some damage. I mean, if he's going to 1A this army across the map, that is going to occupy some time killing off those free locusts.
True. Games like this are probably some of the games that people.
This is one of these games that you're going to remember for this year, man. This is an awesome series.
Yeah. It's a proposed change right now. David Kim posted of making Tempest do more damage to buildings. I think this may make him reconsider if they did. This
is also a very weird game how they ended up
normally this never happens.
Right? Yeah, this is a kind of a sneaky move here by the Protoss.
It's almost like a cookie cutter like build where he's just like, all right, I'm going to defend and keep making more Tempests. Let's just keep putting them in the oven, baking out those Tempests.
Well, I mean, and just the fact that then he doesn't know. I mean, it's so unusual that you can get caught off guard by this, right?
Yeah, he's going to lose this hatch for sure.
He needs to cancel that. There we go.
I would not want to be that true.
No, man. That's like just how it ends.
The Locusts are like attempting to kill Templar.
Oh, nice, even feedback in there. I think now Protoss is probably just going to win.
He's choked out the Zerg.
I mean, this is a game where we might mine out the map here, mind you.
I mean,
the problem here is really this: how on earth can Zerg engage an army like this?
Yeah, that's the fundamental problem.
Can they engage an army like this?
And can he ever take that base again? I don't think so. And that means that he's not going to have really any more gas. He's barely mining gas right now. He's got 272 per minute. And as soon as those gases dry up, then the Protoss gas is much better. The Protoss composition is much better.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to do a Ling run by. Maybe could he break into the main base and stop the Stargate productions?
I mean, he could. I guess he wants to try to just get rid of this base so there's no gas getting mined there. And I think from here, really all Paralyze has to do is wait this out, right? I mean, Zerg is going to mine out here. There's only one base that has not been taken here on the map. That's the bottom middle, 5 o'clock starting, or 5 o'clock location, I guess you could say.
And Paralyze might even just take it himself.
Yeah, he could, or even just build cannons or something near that area.
I mean, he just has to turtle here because there's no way the Zerg player is going to be able to take a favorable engagement. The only way he loses his army is if he messes up his control. Now, I mean, it seems that way.
It does seem that way. Now, I suppose the Zerg could try to do some kind of strong attack over here towards the main to stop the option of refilling this. Continue to harpoon with the Vipers this army and slowly take it apart. I don't know if that's going to work.
He's doing exactly what you said, man. He's just adding cannons here.
Cannons there.
And they're all cloaked right now. There's no way an Overseer's getting anywhere close.
Yeah, I mean, if he just is good with positioning this mothership core, I mean, what
can he do?
If we get a shot of the bottom right base here, I'm really curious how many.
It's looking pretty low, man.
Yeah, how sparse the minerals are. They're nicely done. Now, this is one thing he can do.
Yeah. Every Zerg unit is so important right now because he has very little gas income. He's half the gas income of his opponent. So every corruptor he loses is just so difficult to replace.
That's right. These Locusts are actually killing off the Templars and other units that are coming to meet up here with the rest of the army.
Yeah, he's not really kept them with his mothership core very well, or with his mothership, I should say. More and more Void Rays coming down. He's going to start hitting this base pretty soon.
Well, it looks like he wants to edge his way over there. I think he's erring on the side of caution just to make sure that he doesn't, for instance, just lose this army. But I mean, this is pretty scary, man. I think, let's see if Zerg can do anything, but I believe this might be a nice tagging those infestors here.
Time Warp even slow the infestors' movement.
Nice, he does get the mothership core.
That's huge. And he gets a decent fungal. Those Zerglings, meanwhile, are going to do virtually nothing. I don't even know if virtually is the appropriate word here. I think they're going to just do nothing.
He's almost in range of being able to wipe out the hatch.
If he just targets it like once or twice, it's going to be dead.
Yeah. Now
he's
going
going to
to
try.
a few of these units over here. Now he has charged up the Void Rays, so he might want to just give up this position here for the time being.
Yeah, base is gone. It was almost mined out anyways. Now the Void Rays are charged up. Those Corruptors need to get the hell out of there.
Look at the gas here for Zerg. I mean, it's just not really going up, right?
No,
he's not going to win this with Zerglings. So I believe this game is now over, which will bring us to game number 3.
This is a pretty cool build.
I got to hand it to RorO, though. I mean, a great effort here in trying to hold this off.
Those drones are getting slaughtered. There's no way for him to recover here. He doesn't have...
I think we basically got RorO, digesting his loss. Let's see, he's going to try to nab a few more in here. I think with the supply counts getting lower and lower for Zerg, it's pretty clear.
I mean, he doesn't even have larva to make more Zerglings.
Yeah.
With the minerals he has.
I mean, there's just really nothing left.
This is going to be the final fight, I think.
Yeah, well, he can just charge up the Void Rays like he does right now.
It's going to kill the last
This was one of the best games we'll probably have all year. This was actually really awesome.
Yep. Definitely a lot of lessons to be learned here, I feel. The first of which is do not allow a Protoss player to get a maxed out Tempest army.
Yeah, I mean, this is not something that you can ever allow your opponent to do. It's where they have an army that's this strong. The Tempest make pretty slowly, so normally there's some room to try to punish that.
Yeah.
But this game started out strange and ended strange.
That's definitely true. When we started this game out with a cannon rush.
Yeah.
That's game. RorO tries to limit the last of the Void Rays because he hates Void Rays, but I don't think he's going to get that. GG. Paralyze ties it up, 1-1.
All right, so Paralyze still got a shot. I doubt if he wins game 3, it's going to look like that, though.
No, I don't
That
think
game
so.
was one of a kind. I'm sure we had a lot of people that tuned in the middle of that game.
Yeah.
So what happened is that Paralyze attempted to cannon rush RorO's second base there. And most of the time, Protosses are actually faking that cannon rush. And then it got into a weird situation where the Zerg then had 3 bases, but not as natural. Protoss, eventually fought his way to getting the gold via making the Tempest to control that area.
Yeah.
He tried to push into the Zerg's gold area, but it was already mined out. And so from there, both players started expanding